welcome back. Brett requested something where he can just sit back and not have to work hard.
I didn't want to do anything this episode.
So we're playing Race the Sun. I'm going to play.
Okay.
It's a very simple game. It's very laid back. So, if you guys want to do like a real talk or whatever,
I'm going to tell a story. That's usually the games we pick for real talks.
I know, that's why I picked this, because,
Does anybody have anything to share with the group today?
I'm going to tell a quick story.
That's cool.
Oh, yeah, I have seen this game.
This game's great.
So I went to, during the time that we were kind of off, I went to Seattle and Portland on vacation, and it was dope. And when we were in Portland, we went to a arcade bar called Ground Control, and a bunch of pinball machines, a bunch of arcade machines. This 8-player arcade game.
Oh shit, I thought that was a ramp.
It was the shadow that made it look like a ramp.
Yep.
Neat. Cool game mechanic.
Cool game, guy.
And they were like, at first they were like, you should get cash out of an ATM or bring some cash for Ground Control. And I didn't bring any, but on the way there, outside of a parking meter in the rain, I found $10 on the ground.
Woo-hoo.
So I didn't need to get any cash out because the world was my ATM that day. But so I went to Ground Control, and I was like wearing like a cute dress and like a hoodie, and my friend Spencer comes up and he's like, hey, I think somebody recognized you here, and I was like, well, I am wearing a dress. They might have just pointed because I'm wearing a dress. That happens. And he was like, no, it looked like they recognized you, and I was like, why would in some random bar arcade in Portland would somebody recognize me? But sure enough, I get my drink from the bar, and this person comes up, and they're like, are you Sparky the Android? And I was like, yes, I am. And they were like very nice, and they're like, oh, I saw you. I was over at the Third Strike machine. I was like, oh, Third Strike's my favorite Street Fighter game because it's the best one. And they're like, do you want to play? I said, sure, let me talk to my friends, and then I'll come over and I'll play. And so I sat down to play Third Strike with this random fucking fan. And he annihilated me. Just fucking ruined me at Third Strike. Like, I haven't played Third Strike in maybe like a year, but I used to play Dudley, and I picked Dudley, and this dude picks Makoto and just fucking ruins me. Like no mercy, nothing at all. I come in thinking we're having like a fun time. He wasn't. He was on a mission. And afterwards he was like, that was really fun. In the back of my, what I said was like, yeah, it's cool playing with you. In the back of my head I was like, it wasn't fun at all. You were mean to me. And I feel like every fan interaction I should end with them beating me in a test of skill so I don't get a big head about my life ever. But so like I was like, he's like, yeah, if you want to play again, just hit me up. I'll be here for a while. And in my head I was like, yeah, I fucking bet. Like, but you live on this machine, you sucker poor people on the plane, and you're fucking rude to them. But he was very polite, so like I didn't say any of that stuff. Did that say daylight exterminated?
Extended.
Oh, okay.
So this plane is solar powered, so you want to stay out of shadows.
The sun coming down is kind of the clock.
Yep.
Right.
Hence Race the Sun.
Oh.
Right. I thought
I
you
thought
were
it was
racing the sun.
And it's racist. It doesn't like other suns that are different colors. It doesn't.
My son just got accepted to the country club.
Woo.
Damn it.
Are you proud of that?
Someone else want to play?
Yeah.
I thought we were talking about
All
our
right,
son.
Brian's up.
They won't let me in.
And how are you going left and right?
Because I'm gay.
Oh, I thought it was
controller.
because you're black.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Same way you go left and right, never again.
I don't know if you were using the bumper.
Nope. But
Okay.
so like I walk away from this dude at Ground Control, and I play a
How are
couple
you
of games.
spinning?
You could just like go back and forth real quick. I don't know, it just kind of happened.
My
I
friend
wasn't doing it
Evan
on
comes up
purpose.
to me, and he's like, "Hey, have you been to the bathroom yet?"
What?
And I'm like,
Weird.
"No. Why are you
like to?
Why are you interested?" And he was just like, I'm just wondering. And he's like, when you get to the bathroom, press the disco button.
Oh, fuck.
And I'm like, what? He's like, just trust me. Just press the disco button. And I'm like, okay, well, all right. And then he just like went off to play some game and didn't even like explain himself, which I feel like was his intent. And so sure enough, later on in the night, I have to go to the bathroom. And I walk in, all the lights in the bathroom are off, which is always like not a thing I enjoy.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And I go to the light switch, and there's like enough like kind of like faint like light where I am to read 3 small like switches. One says light, one says fan, and one says disco. And I'm like, oh. And I like reach my finger out and just press the disco button. And sure enough, the ceiling lights up with like multicolored squares, and the wall starts like putting a pattern on it, and they play like faint disco music. And I'm just like, oh.
So now if you hit A, you can jump.
That's not a place you can go. It's a ramp. It's not a ramp, Brian. It's
You
a
could
shadow
have
tricking
jumped
you.
it though.
We've been over this, Brian.
It's a ramp. It's not a ramp.
Yeah.
Okay, one more on your handoff.
But it was like, I took a Snapchat of it and sent it to my friend. They were like, are you at a gay club? I was like, no, I'm in an arcade in Portland. Like, it's a cool place. Disco bathrooms, if you're into that kind of thing.
That's what I call an all-gender bathroom.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Okay.
To be fair,
Matt?
a lot of strip clubs have disco bathrooms. You know, I didn't want to take any wind out of your sail. But if,
Well, you
if
kind
you
of
need
did
a disco bathroom
a little
experience,
bit. I thought I was...
if you wanted to get one locally,
It's fine, Alan. It's fine.
you can locally source.
It's fine.
I don't want to talk about
It's fine.
Fine.
we're fighting.
Yeah,
We're fighting.
yes, we are.
It got so violent.
Most definitely we're fighting, Alan.
No, it's fine.
For the rest
We're
of
not
the-
fighting.
This is worse than that one time in Sex and the City.
How do you spin?
I don't know. It just did it.
Maybe it's triggers?
For me, I don't have
goes-
any idea.
Yeah,
No, I
do
didn't
the
push
sideways
anything.
thing.
It just happened to do
That's
it.
why I wanted the bumpers to make it like Star Fox.
Bueno, the comment that you made about a non-gender bathroom actually leads me into my next story. Thanks for the segue, buddy. Always teeing him up
Fucking
for me.
nailed it.
I can always count on Bueno to tee me up.
Improv!
Yes, and
Tee off.
For a majority of the what were you, Giant?
I'm drunk.
Were you trying to get up there?
Yeah.
No, it's not happening. But for the majority of my what?
What's your problem, Casey?
Look at me.
Okay, one more time.
Tasty.
So for the majority of my vacation, I did a lot of like female presenting. So like I wore a lot of like feminine clothing.
That's how you spin.
That
Whatever
would-
you just did.
It's okay.
For like I wear a lot of like female clothing, and we on Saturday night on the vacation, it was our friend's birthday, so we went to GameWorks. So we were not only at a convention in Seattle downtown, but their GameWorks is a block of the way from the convention center, so there were like a lot of people around. That day, I had eaten an edible, which was far stronger than I normally eat, but didn't know until I had already fucked myself up.
Right.
Because at GameWorks, they have a drink called the Trash Can, which is my favorite drink, which is a cocktail with a Red Bull flipped upside down and crammed into it. So as you drink, the Red Bull continues to fill the cup more. So you start a cocktail and a Red Bull. It's great. I drank 2.
What's it called again?
Trash Can.
Okay.
You gliding.
I'm glad.
You should have got that.
I drank 2 trash cans and a White Russian. So the way my thought process was
Now you can jump with A if you need to.
every single thought I had would be
Personal
like when you're a
best
drunk person and you latch onto a thought, but intensified by like the kind of manic high where you're just like every thought is as
A is
intense
jump.
as possible.
This
how
is
you're
A
like-
down here.
2 Red Bulls. How about some milk?
Yeah. Well, someone was like,
can't jump.
someone was like on this kick for quoting Big
No, you gotta get
Lebowski
that
all
green power
weekend.
again.
Yeah.
And so they're like, "Go and drink White Russians like the dude," and I was like, "Sure." Like, so I'm wearing like a cage skirt and a top and like a hat and like socks and some cute shoes that I had, and in Seattle, I have a lot of friends who are like trans or non-binary. So hanging out with them it's very easy to present in a non-binary kind of way because you know you have backup. Like, you know you have a squad. You wanna play that?
Sure.
So GameWorks was dope as shit. We played this arcade game called Quick and Crash. Have any of you guys ever played Quick and Crash?
Nope.
No.
It is so simple yet so fun. It's a light gun shooter, but it's a quick draw light gun shooter, and all of the targets are physical. So it brings up physical targets and like a thing, and it times you a total of how many times, like how long it took to beat each level in the target. And the last target is a physical cup that explodes, and I still don't know how they made this cup, like because it explodes every time. So the way I think they did it is it's like, because it's a mirror image of stuff.
Right.
They mirror the cup and then immediately switch to a mirror of just cup parts.
Right.
That fire.
Sure. Yeah.
At the time, but the effect sells so well. So my friend Evan and I played a crap ton of Quick and Crash to get into the top 10 because it ranks out of 100 all the scores.
How'd you do the roll?
You go to one side and then flip.
Yeah, it's when you're flying one direction for a while and then you switch. There's really no way to make it
Just a hard
flip.
shift.
I don't need this.
You could have gotten the magnet power up. There.
So at a certain point in the night, once again, I had to go to the bathroom because I drank a whole bunch of alcohol, and it just shoots through me. Like,
Sure.
So Seattle has a big homeless problem, so all of the restaurants there have codes for the bathroom, so you need the code to get in. I got a code when I bought a game card to be in the arcade, but when I got up there was a line outside the men's bathroom, and I had this like mini crisis standing outside there of like which bathroom I was going to use that night.
Right.
But that small crisis was exacerbated by every drink and edible I had done. So I lived through like every moment was an hour, and I was like sitting outside like all messed up, freaking out, and I was like, well, there's lines outside the men's room, but I wouldn't want to use the men's room any right now because like female presenting, I should use a female bathroom, but I don't know if anybody is going to think it's weird, and these guys are hanging outside the bathroom because they don't have the code for the bathroom, which means I have something they want. Like, and that's the thought my brain immediately latched onto. And so I went up to the girls' bathroom, and I'm like almost shaking because I think that I have something everybody wants. Like, I have the code to a nuclear launch weapon, and these fucking 2 spies want it. So I'm like covering the pin pad of the bathroom code, and I look like a fucking weirdo, and I'm like, 4, 2, don't say it out loud. Hero. These guys are looking at me, not because I have the bathroom code that they want, but because I'm acting really weird about it. Like, right. And that makes things worse because in that moment I'm like, they know. Like, I punch the code in, and I was like, just get the door open, because once you're on the other side of the door, you won't see those people anymore. And since there's no line out here, that means there's no line inside the bathroom. I kind of barrel through the bathroom door, only to find that was not the case, and that bathroom was packed with like ladies waiting, and I was like, son of a bitch. And I like, right as I think that, the door clicks behind me, and I was like, you know what'd be even weirder is if I ran in there and then ran out immediately.
Right.
Like, so I'm now stuck in this place, basically in a line, like half freaking out, and this other girl, bless her heart, knew, like, she could tell I was very visibly distraught.
Yeah.
And obviously clocked that I was not assigned female at birth. And reaches out to make a human connection with me.
Yeah, right.
Which is, your outfit looks really cute. An innocuous statement, a great compliment, also very true. It was cute at the time. I had an adorable hat. It was very true.
All cards on the table?
All cards on the table. I looked very cute. But what I did not need in that moment was a human interaction.
Acknowledgement that you were there.
Yeah, it was acknowledgement that I was there, because I felt in a way that I was trespassing, and I didn't want to be clocked. Like,
right.
And this girl was trying to, I don't think she was evil in any way or fault her. She was trying to do what she thought was right, which was to make me feel better and that I was welcome.
Right.
I appreciate that. But me specifically, at that time, was not handling it. And the reason that I wasn't handling it is that perfect region.
Yeah.
Was that my voice is a major tell for me because I have a naturally kind of like low voice.
Yeah, you've got a very low voice.
Yeah, that kind of like belies my like appearance. So people often don't expect it. And so
My turn.
all of this kind of happened at one moment that stretched on through the entire thing. Was that she said that compliment, the door to the stall in front of me opened, and a woman was coming out. So all of that happened, and I responded to the girl. All of that happened simultaneously, but to me, it felt like the most drawn-out sequence of events where I now had to interact with a human being. So I had to say something, even though looking back on it, a simple like wave would have sufficed, or like a nod of acceptance.
Kind of the Devin Hume. That, yeah, I know.
Yeah, but at that moment, I was not owning it. I was there. I was the furthest from owning it possible. And so I cracked out basically a puberty thank you, because I do have a somewhat higher voice that I do when I'm female presenting to like try to alleviate some of my tell. And the door opens and I like see that as my only out, and just try to barrel forward into it. Luckily, the woman in the bathroom was small enough to kind of like side it and get out, because if she was any bigger or I propped an elbow out, she was coming in with me. And so she leaves, I get in there, I shut the door, I sit down, like not even to like do any sort of bathroom experience, just to like take a second. And then remember the reason I came is because I did have to pee. So I get all of that squared away, and I'm sitting in the stall, and there's a woman at the sink, and she is taking her sweet ass time there. And I'm like, she's like guarding my exit because I'm gonna leave and I don't want another conversation, but I do want to like wash my hands because I'm about to go eat chicken fingers. And I've just had like a whole crisis in a bathroom. Like, I feel like I should wash my hands before I eat chicken fingers. That's what's going on in my head, is I'm trying to rationalize like staying here versus like maybe just eat the chicken fingers, dude. Like, and so finally she leaves. I like bust out. I like get out. A couple of my friends were coming because they had no idea where I was. Apparently I had been gone for like 10 minutes. And they're like, hey, where have you been? And I was like, here. And then they like walked away. Like, I just could not handle like an interaction like at all. And finally, like I ended up sitting by myself in the initial D cabinet for like 5 minutes, because that was like the most familiar thing to me at that moment, was the pumping Eurobeat of Initial D Stage 3. And so I like sat in it. I didn't even play. I had money on my card and I didn't even play. I was just sitting there like, just like eyes wide open, trying to like reassemble an identity. And then I was like, I went back up and talked to my friends, and then like felt a little better. But later on, I was like, I kind of just want to go play Quick and Crash because I really enjoyed it. And I go over there, and there are these drunk people just surrounding the game, and I'm like, I just want to fucking play this light gun game. And so I go and I take a seat kind of nearby in like a weird sort of like hover, where if they get off that machine for a second, I'll like swoop in like a hawk. And oh, you could do it. They finally like played Quick and Crash because they're right there, and they're terrible at it. Just terrible. And in my head, I was like, you fucking jabronis, I could do better than this, you son of a bitch bastards. And they finally kind of get off the machine, but are still hovering around it. And I'm like, fuck it. And I get up and I walk up to one of the girls who's in the group, and I was like, are you guys done playing Quick and Crash? And the girl was like, oh yeah, sure, sweetie, you can have it. And I was like, thank you. Like she said it in the most condescending way. Like, I felt like I was older than her.
Oh, my batteries died.
I felt like she was like 24 and I'm 27, but I don't look it at that moment. So she's like talking down to me because she thinks I'm younger than her. But I was like,
Bryan?
fine. And I do one game of Quick and Crash, and the highest those people was like 88. And when I square up to the Quick and Crash machine, because it's like a gun in a holster. My friend Evan goes in police style, where he uses both hands. Squares up, torso to the machine. I can't do that. I do mine sideways, cowboy style, one hand. So when I get to the machine, I like finger roll, waiting for the pull. And so like this drunk kind of group steps away from the machine, and I walk up, square up cowboy style to it, and the target comes up because it's one to start, and like bam, 0.2 seconds up and down. And I was like, I've never felt so proud of my own ability to like play a video game. This was like the most reaffirming thing I could do, was prove to myself that I was still good at something. And I got top 4 on the machine in that moment, and I was like, man, I feel good. And then Evan found me. He's like, are you playing Quick and Crash? Played one game, got top score, number 1, and just tanked me again. Like, I was like, you son of a bitch, you couldn't let me have one fucking thing. Like,
I can't get the.
Give me my goddamn McFly moment.
That's all I ever wanted, was the fucking the Outlaw Shooter fucking game. Impress a young Elijah Wood.
And then the Pioneer version of it, where it's just clean a tin heart.
Cold Peacemaker.
It's like a baby's game.
Still think Back to the Future is the best movie in the world. I mean, we all know that. Name a movie better.
Big Lebowski.
Wrong. What was yours?
Well, yeah, Hiram.
No, it's definitely not Back to the Future though. It's a good movie.
It's the best movie.
I kind of like Ninja Turtles more though.
Now, how about this? Okay, like, what do you consider like perfect movies? There's not many.
I'm talking mechanically. I believe that Back to the Future is the best movie.
I would call it a perfect movie.
Back to the Future?
Yeah.
It's definitely a perfect movie.
Well,
I mean,
we should
there's not a
discuss
whole lot
this
next
topic
time.
on the next episode, though. This one's pretty long already.
I'm dead. I don't know.
Hey citizens, it's your buddy Hiram here. That episode was pretty long, so thank you for making it all the way to the outro. I'll keep this short and sweet. Race the Sun, super awesome game, especially when you kind of just want to sit back, relax, and not really think too hard. Definitely highly recommend it. It's super cheap. Go pick it up. Anyways, thank you so much as always for watching, and we'll see you on the next episode.